China's GDP surpassed 21 trillion yuan in the first 3 months of the year, an increase of 6.4% at comparable prices year-on-year. The combined value of imports and exports was up 7 trillion yuan, a rise of 3.7%. The value of exports was 3.8 trillion, while the imports stood at 3.2 trillion. That means a trade surplus of about 530 billion yuan, up 75% from the same period last year. A senior official from the Bureau of Statistics responded that the global economic recovery and expansion of international trade have slowed as a result of rising trade protectionism in 2018. But there have been positive signals from the trade talks between China and the U.S.
中美作为两个世界上最大的发达经济体
It means that when the two largest economies strengthen their trade engagement and maintain normal mutually beneficial economic cooperation, it would not only benefit them, but also help the recovery of the global economy and international trade.
Market expectations for China's economy have also improved. The Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index is more than 50% again, returning to expansion after 3 consecutive months of contraction. The Consumer Confidence Index was nearly 125 index points, 3.2 points higher than the fourth quarter last year.
这个呢，更多的得益于我们一系列改革开放的政策。
The strengthening of confidence in economic development was a positive result of a series of new government policies on reform and opening up, particularly policies to maintain economic stability and cuts in taxes and fees for enterprises. International economic institutions have also raised their expectations for China's economic growth this year.
Here I'm at Yanqi Lake. Behind me is the venue where the heads of state met during the very first Belt and Road Forum back in 2017. Now it will once again welcome distinguished guests from all around the world. 6 years since President Xi Jinping proposed the Belt and Road Initiative, a lot of friends have gotten on board. China has signed more than 170 cooperation agreements with more than 120 countries. With regard to the Belt, there are 6 economic corridors under the BRI framework, among which the new Eurasian Land Bridge and the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor are considered the most advanced. For example, the Korgos International Border Cooperation Center has connected the East and the West, attracting businesses, tourists, and logistics. Also, Pakistan's new Gwadar International Airport, the $230 million China-funded project, will link Pakistan's fast-rising port city with the rest of the world. And when it comes to the road, or Maritime Silk Road, China is now connected to over 600 ports spread out across more than 200 countries. One of the star projects, the port of Piraeus, now serves as a significant transit hub for international trade and has also brought Greece's economy a major boost. Then there's third-party market cooperation. For instance, China and Japan are considering developing infrastructure and energy projects in Thailand, which would bring the two sides and a third party tangible benefits. In addition, China has deepened its collaboration between the Belt and Road Initiative and other development strategies. Over the past 6 years, the Belt and Road has created more than 240,000 jobs outside China, with trade volume between China and BRI countries exceeding $6 trillion. Financial cooperation through the AIIB, Silk Road Fund, and Chinese-funded banks contributes to the development of various projects.
Some automakers have called 2019 the first boom year for autonomous driving. Such cars on the market now achieve somewhere between level 1 and 2 autonomous, meaning you can sporadically take your hands off the wheel. However, German parts maker ZF is thinking 2 steps ahead, introducing a processor that enables level 4, which means a driver need not watch the road at all.
We did a comparison with iPhones. So if you use 120 iPhones, then you can compare the processing power. Level 4, we take out the driver. There are some permissions for car manufacturer or suppliers like us so that we can do the test drive.
At the same time, Cadillac is planning to roll out their semi-auto drive technology that they call Super Cruise to all of its models starting 2020.
All of the connecting highways between, say, Shanghai and Hangzhou or Beijing and Guangzhou, all of the major long-haul highways, you can absolutely use Super Cruise on. As the technology improves, we'll include even more highways for that experience as well.
Domestic auto sales declined in 2018 for the first time in 20 years, alarming car makers. But new energy vehicles buck the trend. Hybrid car sales increased 118% compared to 2017, while fully electric vehicles climbed more than 50%.
We have hybrid cars which are doing very well, and also the Cayenne Coupe will be available in 2020 as a hybrid car. We are just in the preparation of our full electrical sports car coming to China in early 2020.
US-based parts maker Dana is using 50% of its exhibit space to promote items for electric vehicles. This is up from 20% just a year and a half ago.
You know, one of the reasons that we're showing so many electrified products here at Auto Shanghai this year is because we see a huge increase in demand by automakers across the world, but especially in China, selling over 1.2 million in 2018.
With all the hype over 5G, will it live up to the lofty expectations many now have for it? Well, the world's first 5G hotel room gives us a sneak peek.
It's already a cloud PC. There's only a screen and my phone and connecting with Bluetooth joystick, mouse and keyboard, then perform like a local one.
No CPU?
No.
Where is CPU?
CPU is on cloud. All the CPUs, storage, graphic card, all on cloud.
It's 5G that makes this cloud service stable, powerful, and able to support complicated PC programs. The system can be applied for either work or entertainment. Thanks to that, more VR applications will also be available in the future without costing too much in hardware upgrades.
We can deliver much more customized services, and that's probably the advantage after to add value to a stay and to an experience cycle in a hotel for the customer to have a greater stay.
The new 5G movement was in full effect Tuesday at Huawei's Global Analyst Summit in Shenzhen. The company's vice chairman says 5G is being deployed much faster than expected.
So at Huawei, we anticipate that by the year of 2025, there will be 6.5 million base stations deployed, and there will be 2.8 billion users in the world, which will cover 58% of the world's population.
Times being what they are, with restrictions imposed by the US and other countries against its 5G network rollout, Huawei isn't even flinching. So far, the company has signed 40 commercial contracts for 5G, and thanks to that, the company is likely to see double-digit growth in its operator business this year.
Putting on her VR goggles, 25-year-old Chen Junxiao is immediately transported to a snow-covered ski slope, down which she slaloms without ever leaving Shanghai. Chen said she ventured into one of the city's VR arcades due to word of mouth from her tech-savvy friends.
Often, when you watch the news or check your phone, you will see lots of reports about it. Actually, in Shanghai, there are many shopping malls that are offering this kind of VR arcades.
It's no wonder that augmented reality and VR industries are excited about China. Already, a number of Chinese towns and cities have declared themselves incubator zones. Seekers VR is based in the eastern city of Wenzhou and owns a franchise chain of 200 arcades in more than 70 Chinese cities. It's working with the local government to establish a college to train students in VR. And China's eventual launch of ultra-fast 5G networks is also expected to further boost VR development and foster growth in related areas like education and training.
This year, the Beijing Film Festival is screening 13 award-winning productions in its virtual reality section. Ranging in genre from drama to space opera to animated cartoon, the films represent the most outstanding achievements in the VR field.
Through these movies, the audience can see the latest technological developments in virtual reality. Some of them were made by master directors. Some were shot in the 8K format. We've been promoting VR for 2 years. It has become a main feature at the festival.
For its much-anticipated film panorama, the Beijing Film Festival has selected nearly 500 works to be screened at 30 cinemas across Beijing. The films began playing on April 6th and will run for 15 days. A number of major productions from India, Denmark, and Kazakhstan are seeing their global debuts at the festival.
It bears testimony to the fast-growing influence and attraction of the Beijing International Film Festival. Now the event has become a leading film festival in Asia and is making remarkable contributions to the region's film industry.
Founded in 2011, the event has served as an international venue for different cultures around the globe to communicate.